Day, another video. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we are watching Lost. This is the 18th episode of the second season. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying it so far. If you'd like to watch today's full episode, it is available for free. The link in the description below. Just click on it, put the password in and enjoy. As we're on the 18th episode, we're getting very close to the end of the season. We've got about 7 days left. Is that it? 7 episodes. I think it's time to probably open the most likely to dislike characters of this season. So if you're interested in that as well, that will also be in the link in the description below. It takes 30 seconds and your results on mine will be shown in the final episode. Thanks to everybody who voted, obviously, in season 1. And we're going to be doing it for all of the seasons, so it's going to be open. We've got new characters being introduced this season, so excited to see if any of them win or obviously lose the dislikes, if that makes sense. Yeah, I can't wait. Please do check it out if you've not done that already. Now, last episode, very interesting. I feel like the show will pull one of those things that shows usually do, where we left on a massive cliffhanger last episode and then we tune in to watch this one and it's just a total different one. We've got like a completely backstory of like something else. You know, we might focus the whole episode on Michael and Walt, and it's just like, oh, why, man? Do you know what I mean? And that's so that they'll pull us into episode 19, so that we come back and obviously see the aftermath of obviously the reveal that he's actually not Henry. Yes, the interesting thing is, you know, last episode the alarm was going off, the shutter doors come down, Locke was obviously stuck inside. He said he needed Henry's help to get out of it. He opened the door, obviously they was working together. They managed to prop it up a little bit. As Locke went to slide through, he come down and locks him literally in there, busted his leg. Henry's had to climb through the vents to turn off the alarm. As he's doing that, loads of neon lights come up inside the facility where Locke is. He could see loads of coding written all over the doors, and then obviously when Henry punched in the code, stopped the alarm, the lights come on, and then obviously the doors lifted up, no information there, and obviously Locke's just kept that to himself right now. Very interesting. So we're thinking, okay, fair play, you know, Henry had a chance to run off and he didn't. He stayed and he helped Locke. Decent. Now, going back to Saeed, and obviously I know Lucia and Charlie, they're looking for the grave, found it. Looking for the balloon, found it as well. So he was thinking everything's kind of pointing that he is a sound guy. You know, he's telling the truth. You know, with limited information, you're probably going to have to accept what you've got in front of you. Well, here's the big twist, mate. Because Saeed's ended up deciding to actually dig up the grave to see who was actually buried there, and it wasn't a woman. It's not his wife. He's found an ID card. Henry is somebody else. He's come back to the cave, or whatever you want to call it, and obviously confronted him, and then the episode ended. So what a great cliffhanger. Can't wait to see today's. Hopefully we carry on with that story and don't divert off to somewhere else, because I'm so excited. He's been lying to everybody for so long. I've been saying that he's been lying as well, so I love it, mate. Absolutely love it, and I can't wait for it. So thanks for checking out today's episode. If you do enjoy it, please smash a like, really helps out. Subscribe if you're new. And as always, let's jump in to the 18th episode of the second season of Lost.
Come on, you're doing great. You know, exercise is addictive.
I can see why. I guess I need to drop a few pounds.
Don't be so hard on yourself. It's not gonna happen overnight. What's wrong? You can trust me.
This isn't all bad. It's like the all mango diet. Doesn't turn any heads or nothing, but I did drop a couple belt sizes. Wish I could just get rid of it.
Then get rid of it.
I wouldn't say dump it out. See, to me, that's a waste, you know what I mean? You could just go and give it to the other people.
How do you feel?
I feel free.
Kid is dreaming. I feel like it's a dream. Oh, it's not a dream.
They found something.
Locke said some kind of blast doors trapped him in the hatch. Maybe it was because of this. Here. So shouldn't we let someone a little bit more trustworthy take care of this?
Like you, baby napper?
Like Hurley. Why not Hurley? He's done it before. He could do it again.
No way.
Wow. I reckon that's why he was in the hospital or whatever. Do you remember when he was in that facility? But he actually has found a slipper. That one's actually pretty interesting. See, that's actually interesting. Well, first of all, my observation of that is going to be, you know, do you remember when he went to that guy and the doctor was there and he was like, oh, Hurley, I didn't expect to see you back. And did he say he was in a psych ward? Is that what he said it was? I think that might be the reason why he was in there himself. He might have been seeing people, do you know what I mean? And obviously it's happening again. But also, as I was just saying just a minute ago when he was throwing that food all over the place, it's an absolute waste. Just because you don't want it doesn't mean everybody else on the island doesn't. Do you know what I mean? I know you felt pressure last time that you had it and you had to pass it out to everybody, but just because obviously, like I said, you want to make a change now, it doesn't mean that everybody else, I don't know, it's just a waste, and it highlights how much of a waste it is when everybody found out there's food over here and they've all gone there and they all want it. Do you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? He could have actually passed it out, but I'm going to take the ignore that and look at the fact that him and LIBBY is actually getting close, really, really close, and that's good. It made me happy, that one.
Hey.
You can get in his head because she's a shrink, isn't she?
Pretty weird, huh? Said the island won't let you lose weight. You destroy your stash, then bang. More food falls from the sky.
How's the diet coming, Hugo?
It's okay. The accident.
You want to talk about that today? Hugo, you've been in here almost 2 months now. Don't you think it's time to start getting our hands dirty? Hey, why don't we talk about the little homework assignment that I gave you? What you're supposed to do is make a list of things that you like about yourself.
Well, Dave didn't do it. He said it was a stupid idea.
We have talked about how he could be a very negative influence.
Is that the person that he's seeing, Dave?
Well, shoot it then! Shoot it! What? High percentage shot. Excellent choice. So what, you don't want to hang out with me anymore? That crap getting inside your head, man, do not let him. You've got much more important things to think about, like hard or soft shell, baby. Noche de tacos, amigo.
I mean, so far he's not been negative, has he? I mean, he's not helped his diet, like, but...
This will keep the swelling down until I can get a splint on it.
How long until I can walk on?
You're gonna have to keep off it a couple of weeks.
He could have escaped. Came back to help me. Why would he do that?
He didn't come back to help you, John. He came back because he thought his story was gonna check out.
I was part of the search party. Henry Gale was hanging out of the basket, neck broke.
Then you buried him and left a grave mark. You really should have checked his wallet before you did that. I'm hiking to one of the beaches to start a signal fire. But if you're reading this, I guess I didn't make it. I'm sorry. I love you, Jenny. How did Henry Gale write a note to his wife with a broken neck?
You don't understand.
How did you know his wife's name? Did you interrogate him?
How many of you are there? You don't understand. Understand this.
Hey. What the hell's wrong with you?
It could be good cop, bad cop. That'd be so good if they played that perfectly. That would actually be really, really good.
I've got it covered, John.
I picked up on that. Do you remember when Claire was stood in the room and what is it now? Ethan was stood at the door and he was speaking to the guy with the beard, but he didn't have a beard then. And he was saying he's not going to be happy with that when he found out that obviously he wasn't on the plane and because they had the manifest. And I picked it up, he, as in like, he was working for somebody else, kind of like, obviously, we had in the 100, we had the grounders, and then obviously we had the person in charge, obviously the commander. It seems like the same thing's going on here. And obviously with the, what is it now? I also remember, I didn't say it at the time, but I remember now. Do you remember when he was in the trees and obviously he was, well, they captured Kate pretty much and he wanted to take the weapons off them? Kate was brought out by Alex and that was Russo's kid, innit? You know what I mean? Like, Jack was like, you know, I don't think there's many of you here. And he was like, light him up, and they all lit him up. And then he was like, Alex, bring her out. And then obviously, boom, mate, Kate got brought out. So it's interesting when you think about it, little name drops here and there. Sometimes you don't pick up on it straight away. You don't remember it's got a reference. But then I was thinking when we had the episode back before and we seen she helped Claire, I was like, oh yeah, Alex, you know what I mean? And like, stuff just falls into place.
I noticed you were building something.
Why don't you help me?
I'm going to put a big cross.
It's a Starbucks.
Help me carry one of those logs, please.
You're not here! Wait! Wait!
Did either of you see a guy run through here in a bathrobe with a coconut?
Saw a polar bear on rollerblades with a mango.
What the hell is that? My mid-afternoon snack.
Dude, that's celery. Celery is not a snack.
Hey, Hugo. Here's your meds.
You want to get out of here with me? Don't take the horse tranquilizer.
And how are you today?
Never been saner.
I've been taking some pictures for the bulletin board. I've got everyone except you two. Say cheese.
Cheese.
He's definitely not swallowed it.
Dude, the revolution has begun, man.
I got enough food now to open a chain of mini marts. Hey, you think Saeed needs a job?
Need some medicine. It's called clonazepam. So you can calm down for when you're seeing things. I don't know, maybe like a bald guy in a bathrobe.
You mean like that guy there?
I thought he was going to be there, man. I know, I thought he was going to be there.
Crazy!
I'm not crazy.
Do you know what I've noticed, right? This show, a lot of stuff that Sawyer says in... See, it's different. It's the times that we live in. You know, that right now it's 2023. Like I said, I think this show come out in like 2004 or 5. A lot of stuff that he says in modern day society would be deemed as like racist. It actually would be. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it just something like he said about Saeed there, about working. You know, he's got a lot of food. Do you reckon he'd want to work in the market? Do you know what I mean? Or like, he always calls... I don't know, man. He always calls like gin and all that like by certain nicknames and stuff like that, and it doesn't bother me because I know it's just a joke. Do you know what I'm saying? And like I understand the times. It's like when people watch Friends and then they're like, oh, do you know, Friends is well against gay people because they do it in Friends. They do joke a lot about homosexuality and stuff. But like I don't know, you just take it just as a show in it. It's not like hardcore offensive, but I guess it is if you obviously like disagree with those sayings. It is interesting because Sawyer says it all the time. I do pick up on it. It doesn't bother me, but I understand that some people could actually get, you know, a bit hurt by it.
So he just attacked you, huh?
Try to contain yourself, Freckles.
You look like you got your ass kicked.
Don't you got an adventure to get to? Walk off and have yourself a nice long giggle, but steer clear.
I would actually say in that scenario, he didn't really do anything, Sawyer. He did crack a little joke, that was it.
What happened with Sawyer?
I don't want to talk about it.
I'm on your side. Whatever you tell me.
Look, I don't want to talk, okay?
It's a lot of peanut butter.
I'm gonna need a lot of protein where I'm going. Back to the caves. No one lives there anymore, so it won't bother anybody.
What, he's gonna eat all that then? Oh, look how many calories is in that.
They're not here! You're in the hospital. You can't be here.
Sorry, dude. I am here.
I like that I have a good relationship with my mom.
It's making me think he took a picture with nobody there.
Comfortable with your appearance?
I mean, I can't really do anything about it, right? Wasn't so fat. They never would have died.
23 people on that deck. It was built to hold 8. Look, after those people died, you were in a practically catatonic state. You stopped talking, you stopped going out, you stopped sleeping, but you never stopped eating. Dave doesn't want you to lose weight, does he?
You know, Dave cares about me.
I'm glad I picked this up before he's showing it.
Dave isn't your friend, Hugo, because Dave doesn't exist.
I knew, mate. I knew it. You know what I mean? Like, that is actually crazy there. You know, he could fully see him, talk to him. Obviously, I seen him on the island. That's obviously why, because obviously it's not real. But we've had this before in the supernatural shows that we watch on the channel. You know what I mean? I think at one point in the Vampire Diaries, yeah, Jeremy was going out with Anna, but she was like a ghost or something, and only she could see her. But he could touch her, and he could kiss her, and he could be intimate if he wanted to with her, but nobody else could see her. And I was like, is that weird? You know what I mean? Technically, I don't know, man. The guy could live his life with a partner, just that nobody else can see that conversation. Do you know what I mean? But it was a supernatural show, so you have to have the context. But it's crazy how people can see it. Like, he wasn't really that negative on him. He was just, yeah, he did seem to, every time he was going to try and pick something, he was like, dude, why are you doing that? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? I'm not too sure why he's here on the island, because maybe, like he said, he's associates him with like punishing himself with food, because I think every time we kind of seen him, he's like been eating, you know, like stuff in his face. It was interesting. That calories that mate he scooped on that peanut butter must have been thousands.
Finally, you could sleep through a damn NASCAR race, man. But you're not. You're a hallucination.
Ow. Was that a hallucination? Hey, you in or you out, dude? Marcus didn't finish his lasagna. That is a waste, man. One for the road.
See what I mean? He kind of pushes him towards the food.
Okay, man, you got the keys on, Ray. You took them off Brooks's desk earlier. That is freedom, baby. You know what tastes even better than freedom? Cheeseburger. Come on, man. Chili fries on me.
You're trying to get me to run away and get cheeseburgers because I want cheeseburgers. Look, you don't want me to get better. You don't want me to change.
Shit, you don't need to change, man.
You wouldn't care if I ate myself to death.
Do not do this, man. If you don't come with me right now, you will never get out of here. You wouldn't happen to have my slipper, would you? I know you're freaking out right now, and I'm sorry, but it's gonna get a little worse before it gets better.
And a little while later, Brooks let me out, and I went home to live with my mom, and I got my job at Mr. Cluck's back.
Here's the thing, none of that ever happened. That peanut butter, none of it's real, man. None of it's happening.
That would drive you a bit crazy. You wouldn't know, man.
My friend.
I won the lottery.
Whoa, wow. What numbers did you play? Leonard's numbers, right? You've been on a deserted island for over 2 months and you haven't dropped 10 pounds. How is that even possible, man?
So this is all in my brain?
The real me, the one they told you was imaginary, he went out that window, man. I'm part of your subconscious, man. All the people on this island are.
I'll wait for you to wake up. Snap out of it.
I don't want to kill myself.
Who said anything about killing yourself, man? This is gonna bring you back to life.
I'll just wake up.
That's right.
I push him, see ya. You know what I mean?
And when you do wake up, come find me. I'm sure I miss you. Seen another life, Hurley.
Alright, he just jumped off. I don't know, man. It's mad. It is pretty mad. It's pretty crazy, to be honest. They're making him look like he's crazy. But I've got to say, though, I think they've kind of portrayed it pretty well in terms of, obviously, I don't see people in real life. But, like, you know, I do think they've kind of portrayed it well, how people go through the scenario of seeing people pretending, well, not pretending, but acting like, you know, they're totally real, and then acknowledging that they're not, but then get manipulated by their own subconscious, you know what I mean? And guy's not really doing anything bad, but like he's kind of confusing Hurley and what's right and what's wrong, do you know what I mean? And then obviously it's back and forth, and then he could end up killing himself. And like, I could imagine that some unlucky people have had that experience in their life before, and obviously like actually gone off the edge and died, and not because they're bad people, just because obviously they've had that condition where they've believed that they're doing the right thing, or somebody's manipulated them who's not actually there. And it is actually crazy. Like, I think I seen something on TikTok one time where this guy said that he's walking past the house and he heard a girl, she's being attacked inside, and he ran in, and you know, she was getting molested by these guys, and he'd gone in, he beat them up and set the house on fire. And then basically it turned out that none of that actually happened, and basically he just walked past and he was going crazy, and he just set a random house on fire, and they died. But like, it's mad because yeah, he should get put away because one, he's a danger, but two, technically he was trying to do a good thing, protect a girl, but it wasn't happening, so he done a bad thing. And it's crazy to think of as something like that. So I think they kind of portrayed this episode well in terms of obviously Hurley and his character. I thought he was going to say it's not real, i.e., you know, he didn't win the lottery and he never got his job back. Not that he never left the facility, because I was thinking, okay, maybe he didn't get his job and he didn't win the money, he just thinks he has. But he is on this island, you know, he was on the plane.
Jack not back yet?
He's telling everyone at the beach that we've got one of them.
5 minutes. I earned 5 minutes with him. What's your name?
Keep calling me Henry. I've gotten used to it.
You and your people have been here for God knows how long, and you got caught.
God doesn't know how long we've been here, John. This place is a joke. I crawled through your vents, and I stood at your computer. The timer went all the way down to 0, and some funny red pictures flipped up in its place. Magnet, a big magnet. It was really very frightening. And do you know what happened next? Flipped back to 108.
Oh, would you trust him? I don't know, man.
I never pressed the button.
Wonder if that's a signal to I want some food. I think I kind of believe him, if I'm being totally honest.
Who's Dave?
How'd you know where I was?
Jin saw you while he was fishing.
You don't want me to wake up. I'm not scared.
You're having some sort of panic attack. I get that. Please, you're gonna hurt yourself.
No, I'm not. I'm just imagining it. This isn't real life. You remember when I said I knew you from somewhere? Well, maybe it's because I made you up.
The day of the crash, on the other side of the island, Echo brought a man with a broken leg to me for help. What was his name? His name was Donald, and I buried him. So don't tell me that that wasn't real.
When you saw me on the beach this morning, was I holding a slipper?
Not that I can remember, no. The way I feel about you, that's real.
Isn't this well unexpected? I mean, it's not, because it kind of had a slow build up, but it is like, it's just come out of nowhere, hasn't it, really?
Ready to go back?
Why don't you get a little closer together?
Kind of feel like she's an inside job on other as well. I feel like everyone is. Is she in a facility? Wow, what are the odds on that? Yo, do you reckon she's always loved kind of Hurley from the inside? Now, would you say that's good or bad? I don't know with that one. Like, if both of them was in that same facility, and from afar she's always admired him and fancied him, but never actually gone over, and now they've both somehow found themselves in this location at the same time, and she's kind of gone in and made that move and succeeded. I mean, it's it's Joe Stalker vibes from you, isn't it? Let's be honest, it is, because she would have only been on that plane because Hurley was in that location. It wouldn't have been coincidental, but like, he's got out how she got out. And the thing is, why is she in there in terms of that? Because she seems pretty sane, to be honest. You know, I know Hurley's been pretty sane so far, but we have had drops and hints here and there, and we've also seen him reluctant to have conversations and talk about himself all of the time. Literally all the time. Don't want to talk about it. Dude, I'm okay. You know, can we just leave it? You know what I mean? All of the time. Now, her, not so much. I mean, she's only new, and it did happen to her. She did land on the island. To be honest, then it gets you thinking, like, is it actually real? Do you know what I mean? Like, sometimes I think, like, sometimes a show can foreshadow something that happens, like, so long, you know what I mean? So, like, we could get to the final season, and then it could turn around and say, surprise, you know, he's actually not been on the island, Hurley. It all has just been an imagination, and both of these two are in a home. You know what I mean? And then it's just like, I don't know if that's good or bad. I'm not too sure how I would feel with that. But, like, it could be a long con, do you know what I mean? A foreshadow as well, all the way up to something. So I don't know. It's interesting that she's there though. She's saying that she's a shrink, so surely somebody's going to play on that at some point. They're going to go to her. They're going to. Well, I mean, she done it with Claire. I mean, all she told her to do is sit there, breathe in and out, and focus on the sea. You know what I mean? And pretend and think back to when she was pregnant and stuff like that. And it did kind of help her. She did see stuff, so it worked in her favour then. Maybe she was a shrink and then she'd gone crazy herself. I don't know. I don't even know if it was real, if I'm being honest. It's got me thinking that. You know what I mean? So I knew it would happen anyway. Like, we had Henry a little bit here and there talking, but we didn't focus in on him pretty much at all. I was so excited. I'm going to say I'm not disappointed because the way the episode went, I kind of forgot, but now I've finished and we're concluding it. Do you know what I mean? We go back to what I was saying in the intro. I knew they'd do something like that where it was cliffhanger, so focused in on it, got a couple of seconds of it, and then it was kind of like an absent episode and focused on something else. So maybe we just pick up on it on the next one, because I do believe that he revealed a couple of interesting little bits of information in this one. Okay, that's going to wrap up today's episode. Thanks so much for checking out the channel today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. As mentioned in the intro, we have now opened our most liked to dislike characters of season 2. The link is in the description below. Hopefully you guys can take 30 seconds and have your say, and obviously mine will be revealed with yours in the final episode of the season. So again, I thought it was an interesting episode. I actually really liked it. You know, it was, you know, I was trying to think, right? Hurley was in this place, and we got more of his backstory kind of revealed, and I'm trying to think, why is he actually there? Now, I know that sounds daft because it's in the episode, but, like, you know, 3 things was kind of being portrayed here. 1, that he was seeing somebody else, he was seeing Dave, so obviously you could say that is a good reason for him to be in this facility. 2, he's consistently talking that he's fat, and that is a problem, which, in my personal opinion, that is actually not a problem. It just depends on who you are, you know. Just because somebody's fat, it's not a problem. Now, technically, they could be overweight and they could be obese, yeah? He factually is. But, like, if he's happy with his life, then that isn't a problem. You know what I mean? People shouldn't be forcing him to be on diets and eat this and eat that. Don't eat your cheeseburgers. Don't eat those chips. At the end of the day, it's whatever makes you happy. You know what I mean? I could sit 1,000 people down and say, look, mate, you can eat whatever you want and do whatever you want all your life, and you'll live 5 years less than somebody who's gone to the gym and been healthy all their life. A lot of people would take that. A lot of people would take being fat, eating, being happy. That's something that they enjoy doing. Now, just because you or me or like, I don't know, the person over there thinks that, you know, he should be slimmer, that doesn't mean that that's right. That's an opinion. So I don't know, man. That one I didn't really get. You know, all episode he was pushing that he's fat and he's this and that and he needs to change. You know, we started off with him running, trying to destroy his food. Then we go into his place and he's dieting and saying that he's a bad influence because he's telling him to eat. But I personally think it's just down to everybody's choice. If you want to be fat and that makes you happy, then that ain't a problem to me. Like I said, there's 3 things. We had that one seeing Dave, that one about his food, and then the other one about, yeah, in relation to him being fat, he was saying that he walked onto a bridge or a pier or something, and then because he was the last person that went on there, you know, the bridge kind of collapsed and 2 people died, which is new information to us. We've not heard this before. This is, you know, something new. And again, that could take a toll on your mind, and that could be a reason why you go inside a place like that to get past it. Now, obviously, I firmly believe that the bridge didn't break because it's Hurley's fault. I mean, obviously, he'll see it as his fault because he'll look at himself and say, look, I'm a big guy. I went on there. I caused it to break. But in reality, that guy was saying, look, mate, you know, that bridge was held for X amount of people. I think he said 20 people was on there. It was just unlucky that you was the last person to go on there and put the added weight on. That broke it. It's not your fault, though. Everybody else was on there. It's a collective mistake, so to speak. So, I don't know. He's in there for 3 different reasons, or there was kind of like 3 things mentioned. And obviously the big what's going on / you know, how's she now on the island is that obviously she, LIBBY, was in that facility with him taking the medicine as well. What's wrong with her? Do you know what I mean? She made me think that maybe she was an other just prior to that when he was walking, and she kind of like looked at him, and then she had like a weird face, and then I was like, oh, maybe she's another. Like, because I do, anybody that's new introduced, I'm always proper sus of you. I really am. Even though I actually like LIBBY. I think she's been really good so far. So do you know what I mean? Like, I was saying as well, him and her relationship kind of has come out of nowhere. It's kind of not in terms of, it's been like 3-4 episodes of building, and kind of, you know, straight away Hurley was like, you know, do you think she's cute? You know, they, I don't know, they kind of built it to us as viewers, but then it's also happened quick between them. If you think about it, them on the island, like kind of like first introducing to kind of kissing, so to speak. But I like it. I like both of them. It's interesting. Both have obviously got maybe a similar condition that's wrong with them. So it'd be exciting to see obviously more of their backstories. To be honest, I'm enjoying everybody's backstories that we're kind of getting. And, you know, again, obviously here we need to get more of Henry. He was expressing that the guy with the beard is not even the guy in charge. Like, if you think about it, he's just a small player inside of a bigger team, a bigger chain of command. And you got the guy at the top and the guy with the beard's down here. And he's scared of, obviously, a guy up there. And even Locke at the very end was... First of all, I thought it was going to be a good cop, bad cop thing, where Saeed looked like he was going to maybe shoot him, and she was going to jump in the way, and he shoots the wall, and then he goes out, and it's just like, look, mate, you know... Don't let him come back in here. As long as you give me a bit of information, I'll make sure he stays. You know what I mean? I thought it was going to happen, but it actually didn't. Looked like Saeed was actually just going to kill him, because obviously he's fuming about what happened to Shannon, and he's kind of like going back to what he said a couple of episodes before, that when we find out that he is one of them, they'll be kind of like hell to pay. But then going into Locke, obviously coming into this place and speaking to him, you can tell that the guy's scared, and he's like, did you get captured on purpose? Do you know what I mean? Like, what's happening, mate? You've been on this island for a time. You're not just going to wander into a trap and just, you know what I mean, get stuck. Like, I feel like he wants to get away. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. Like, I'm actually liking this Henry character, whatever his name is. Obviously, I have to still call him Henry because we don't know, but I'm enjoying him. I feel like he's just threw so much unpredictability into it that it's interesting. He even said that he just let the timer run out. Nothing happened. It reset. You know, the alarm stopped. Food come down onto the island as well. So, did that happen? Did that not? Is he chatting? Is he not? Do you know what I mean? He's got me guessing. So that's what I want, mate. Constantly get my mind ticking. Makes the show engaging and more interesting. Thanks for checking out today's episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please smash the like. It really helps out. Subscribe if you're new. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.